Alrighty, we have finally reached the Division 2 review. Alright, so we've got the Platinum Trophy, we've smashed out the game, and now we're here to give our Knightsman final thoughts on the Division 2. Alright, so let's dive straight into it. So the first category that we judge it off is gameplay. Now for this I gave that an 8 out of 10. Now the reasoning for that is we have jammed the number 1, Division 1, and there has been some definite positive changes within the gameplay. So in number 2, the enemies have become less, how do you say it, like bullet spongy. I remember on the first one you used to just smash bullets into these enemies and it would kind of be unrealistic and it would just be too hard. And what they've done is they've readjusted that for the Division 2. So the weapons are now have a little bit of good kick to them. They do like appropriate amount of damage, which kind of leaves you with like easy enemies getting smashed and the harder enemies not too bullet spongy, which is very good, and it was an awesome dynamic across the board for the gameplay. So they definitely went in a positive direction with the weapons. However, I guess a little nudge is the weapons, they just seem to be, once you get to that end game and you're just constantly picking up the yellow or gold rarity weapons, it just seemed like you just keep dropping them, picking them up, and it was just like, oh, these weapons are now becoming like, you just pick your one, and I pretty much had the 2 that I wanted from basically the start. They were level 500, and then I just kind of stick with them. But they improved, dramatically improved from the first one. How the dynamics of the weapons is anyway. So we're going to move on. We're going to park the weapons. We're going to move on to the next one, which is the enemies. Now they have become less bullet spongy, and there's just a different variety of enemies, which is very, very awesome to play. Like they've got that bigger tank elite, which just has that sledgehammer, which comes directly at you with the sledgehammer and just trying to like knock you down, and as soon as he basically gets one landed hit on you, your health goes all the way down. But that was fresh, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, it was a different dynamic. And then they had the suicide bombers which were on there, which again provided a different dynamic to the game. And then they had like the engineers who were crafting up drones, who were crafting up those those little eater saw things coming around the map. I mean, it was interesting. It kind of made you like have to think, where do I place myself tactically? And then the enemies also done that too, you know, they were very tactical in the way they done things, which was refreshing. So they definitely took a step in the right direction with how they had the enemies. And like one thing I did like with the weapon side, so I'm coming back to it, is the specialization. You know, they had the crossbow, the grenade launcher, or the sniper. You know, that was good. For the trophy, I'm going to harp on the trophy stuff a little bit coming up soon, but for the trophy, it was an easy trophy to kill one person with each 3 of them, and then it wasn't actually too bad if you just stuck with the one, which was semi-annoying, because basically one of the trophies is you have to get one perk in all of them for one of the specialization classes, and I picked the bow and arrow straight off the bat, but I felt like I had to use the bow and arrow like a long period of time before I can really move on to the other ones, which I did eventually. But you know, at the end of the day, it was good having them there, and it was just very refreshing from the first one. So definitely a step in the positive direction. So that's why I gave it a 8 out of 10. And you know, the environment was very different as well, with having the different types of enemies like the true suns, stuff like that. You know, they mixed it up, which was good. The environment was beautiful. Sometimes it did feel a little bit empty, and especially the dark zones, the 3 of them, it did feel a little bit empty. I don't know if that was because I played it a little bit later, where like a lot of the player base might have gone already. Maybe at the start when it first came out, there was a lot of people in there, and you know, but when I got to it, there wasn't too much. So like that aspect kind of, it didn't blow me away like the first one did. However, I do like the way they kind of went about it with different dark zones. However, they do need to play with I felt like all three of the Dark Zones were basically semi the same, if you know what I'm talking about. I think they really need to drastically change each of the Dark Zones pushing forward, because you know you do spend, or if you're player versus player, you spend a lot of time in these Dark Zones, and you know, if they just added something unique to just completely different, I think, environments, I think it would be a good touch anyway. Don't get me wrong though, I still did enjoy it, which was awesome. But yeah, so that was gameplay, 8 out of 10, which wasn't too bad at all. Alrighty, our next category is story. For this one I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it semi-followed the same lines of how the story flowed on with the Division 1. It pretty much took up straight after that. But how it's detailed is there's different missions around the map, and you pretty much go from, depending on what your level is, one to the other, and that's how you progress through the story. Now, for this, I would like to see more depth in the story. I didn't really connect with the characters, my character, too much. That's me personally. I just think they could go deeper into the story. I'm a very story driven person, and I just felt like you just went from mission, boom, a little bit of a story clip, mission, boom, a little bit of a story clip. Like the settlements, you'll upgrade them, but it really didn't do anything. I didn't spend much time in the settlements. I just had no weight for me to go there, really. So yeah, I gave that, obviously a 7 out of 10, which is still a high score, don't get me wrong, but there is room for improvement. Still probably better than the first one, they've just added onto it, but I feel like they just need to add that depth, just connect with me, you know what I mean? Just connect with this, man, so you can keep me interested. It did keep me interested, but that was mainly because the gameplay was how it is. It's obviously, if you played the Division, you know Division gameplay, and if you like that sort of gameplay, then obviously you'll like this one. But yeah, so story, 7 out of 10. Now enjoyability, I gave that another 7 out of 10. Look, it captured me all the way for that. How long did it take me? 70 hours maybe to get this platinum, which is captured on the last video. So check that out. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Look, it was good. Not having to smash a whole bunch of bullets into enemies which didn't go down. I finished all the missions, and then obviously when they got retaken over by the True Sons, did them again, and had a little dabble in the Dark Zone, so it wasn't actually too bad. So my enjoyability, it didn't fade too much, so that's 7 out of 10 is pretty good for that. Now next one is trophy hunting. I gave this 8 out of 10. Now I was very worried about the bounty trophy not popping for me, so a lot of people are having problems possibly tracking it, or it not popping if you're doing the bounties. Now I had to look this up, and I did, and I got there in the end. But if you hover over your little settlement, or that little house, it will see in the top right corner if it's complete, or if it's, I guess, in progress. If it's in progress, then you know that you haven't finished that bounty yet. So you would have to, whatever the requirements is on the left, so it might be get 4 of those caches, do some activities, and give 550 food, water, or materials to the officers at the control points. Now if you did that, then the bounty will pop up for that house, and then all we got to do is just finish that bounty, and it will track across. So I done I think it was 13, and then I was just okay, I had about 7 houses to go, and then as soon as I finished that last house, boom, it popped for me, which is great. Another one which was a little bit annoying was the cards. So you had to collect a set of cards. Now there was one elite. I did just hit the spot. It's detailed in the platinum video anyway. I did hit the spot a little bit down from the White House, but every half an hour there was an elite that popped up. An elite had the gold name, the gold bar. So as soon as you defeat them, you get a card. Now I pretty much done, how many did I do? 50 something. until it popped for me. Because I would get like 1 hearts, 1 diamonds, 1 clubs, 1 spades, and it would just keep going through. And like I was getting like maybe like clubs for a couple of them, but it always seemed to just never just. I couldn't get the whole set straight off the bat, so I had to keep going back every half an hour, which was a little bit annoying. But if I knew that from the very start, then every time I flashed up the game, because half an hour's passed and it doesn't matter if you turn it off and go back, then they respawn. So if I knew that at the very start, then I would have probably done half of it closer to the start rather than at the end, which would have held or helped me definitely get the platinum trophy in much less of a time than what I got it in now. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. None of them were missable for me, so I ended up getting all of them, and some of them weren't really too hard, so that's why I gave it a high score of 8 out of 10. If obviously the cards one was a little bit easier, then I probably would have bumped it up to a 9. But yeah, it wasn't too hard. It was a lengthy game, about 50 to 70 hours, dependent on when you started those cards and the bounties and that sort of stuff. But for me, it wasn't too bad at all. So yeah, not too bad. 8 out of 10. Next one is Wow Factor. Now I only gave this a 7 out of 10 because look, I knew what I was expecting from the Division 1, and you know, I did enjoy it. So the wow factor was there for a little bit, but then it became a little bit repetitive, and that's where you found that wow factor going down just a little bit. But still, 7 out of 10 is pretty good in my eyes, and we're going to go for a total overall score of a Knightsman score of 7.5, which isn't too bad at all. We did get there, which I'm very happy about. You know, I just get a big grin as soon as I see that platinum trophy pop up on the very corner of the screen. You know, it just gets me going because I love it. I love getting those platinums, and that was the 29th platinum, the Division 2, so it wasn't too bad. Hey, overall, it's a little quick overall consensus of the game is, look, I enjoyed it. 7.5 is a good score. There was massive improvements from the first one, and looks like they've just kind of chose a different location, you know, popped in a different stuff, and then yeah, so they've improved on what they had, and now what I think they need to do is they've gone here, now they just need to pump up here. If they're going to do a third one, I think they just need to add different if they just grew the story, I reckon that would kind of blossom a little bit more into the flow of the gameplay outside of that. But I was lucky enough to play a couple of months, or I think it's been about 8 months since it came out, so there was a lot of like in-game missions and that have been added and stuff like that, which is cool if you like that sort of stuff. But as soon as I got the platinum, you know me, I got, you know, Knightsman, we pumping out platinums left, right and centre, so we're going to be moving on to the next game, which is Borderlands 3, so that's why we couldn't really stick around for the new missions. But hey, look, I did enjoy the game. You know, it was a big step up from the first one, and if there was a third one, look, I'll be semi-excited. But what they need to do is capture me more, connect me more to the characters, connect me more to the story, and then just have that same Division kind of gameplay, and I think they'll be in it to win it. You know, why not? But hey, I was very happy to get the platinum, and yeah, look, I've got really nothing else to say but positive things. You know, they've grown from the first one, and that's all I can really say. But did I enjoy it? Yes, I did. Is it a high score? Yeah, it is. 7.5 is pretty good. Pretty good Knightsman score. Be up there anyway. Hey, if you enjoyed that, or if you have got the platinum, or if you're still playing it, comment down below. Let me know what you think as a Knightsman. Always good to have a little chat over it, and you know, just have a yarn. If yarns like story, you know, from person to person, that'll be great. But apart from that, have a good weekend, because that is Knightsman now. That is the review done. That is the platinum done. And on to the next. Thank you. Cha-ching.